Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first evening together. I'll kind of stick around and hopefully, I got to wait for some people to get in here. There's a couple bouncing in. Oh, wow, more than I expected. Okay, this is a bit of a long-awaited show for me. I just want to, before I say that, I'd like to say anybody who has good wills for the people of Florida and good thoughts for them and their safety, and prayers be with them. I know that there's many of them that they're going to have a rough evening tonight, and let's hope they all end up with power in the morning and life goes back to normal as quickly as possible. So I'm just saying that to add into my next point that I think is really important to all of us. Try to live it. I know many of us don't, but try to live each day like a hurricane's coming tomorrow. You know, it's pretty spectacular to live this life and experience it in any way that we can, and particularly with a group like this. A man finds himself very blessed to not just even know all of you, to meet many of you in a personal level. It's pretty overwhelming to be at times, but this show is a reflection of the knowledge in which I have gained over basically my entire life. I know I'm going to get into a brief little history of my life, but when I was a young man, everything to me meant having fun and spending money and partying like every other young person. And I did a lot of that and really experienced a lot of incredible times in my life. And I'm so thankful for the moments that hit me in ways that were educational, but also left me on the streets numerous times in my life with nothing and wondering where I was going to take my life. So when you people send me emails and when you tell me your life stories and the situations that you're currently in, and some of those are in those boats, living out of your vehicle and whatnot, I've been there. I didn't grow up on a yacht. That's what I do now. And that's just one example of what you can do with your life, and how just because you're currently not in the best of situations, you will be. How I know that is because you resonated with the people in this chat and in this group. That tells me a lot about who you are, and it tells me a lot about where you're going. So I don't want to give a whole life history here, obviously, but I always understood money. I was never really good with it, but I always understood it, and I had a pretty good idea what I wanted to do with it, which was a little better than a lot of people. I found myself wanting to be a stockbroker as a young man. I just thought it was so neat. I thought, wow, this is one of those cool jobs, that I could be. And, you could go to cocktail parties and people would actually want to know what it is and sit around and ask you, incredible questions about their future and their finances. Well, let's just say that was some 40 years ago, and I've learned an awful lot about how to answer all those cocktail party questions now better than I ever have before. And in the part in between, in the middle, if you will, I had 3 decades of being able to listen to people who had amassed hundreds of millions of dollars in many different ways, and in technology and just farming, and all of these people became multi-billionaires, hundreds of millions anyway, ridiculous sums of money. And each one was so unique and so different in so many different ways, but yet very much alike. And all of that really resonates with me because it reminds me of the people I'm around today, not just the wealthy family that I work for and run their boat, the people that are in this chat, in this group, and the people of, well, frankly, Bitcoin and XRP families they have the same mentality. I just feel so at home. I feel this is my people. And every time I meet all of you, you all have the same goals and aspirations, and you have a goal. And many of us, it's just, well, I just want my crypto to go up. But that was so 8 years ago. It's not what crypto is today. Crypto today is, as much as I don't like the term institution, it truly is. And you're the future wealth. I mean, I know I've put this in so many different ways, but you're going to be the people that generations from now, they're going to say that might have been the most fortunate time to have ever lived. And I can't be positive of that. Obviously, I don't know that to be true yet. But I've never seen anything like this. And I'm not just talking about crypto. I'm talking about the way crypto is going to be linked with AI and business and cutting out the middleman. The amount of middleman fat that is going to be eliminated and brought to the lower realm, if you will. Realm's maybe not the right word. Lower down the pole. All of that fat is going to go to a more humanitarian place than ever before. And it's going to be looked upon as this generation, multi-generation, maybe for the first time, that all four of the generations currently around today will have invested in. And it's a force that I don't believe has ever been on this planet to any degree at this level. I say that because this show is about not only what I've learned and what I've learned from you and what you're going to help me and what you're going to teach me, and us teach each other, obviously. I say that because it's real now. See, the first few years of crypto, it was, well, I'm going to buy a bunch of coins and then I'm going to sell them all for something really nice. Well, there's been so many articles, so much time has gone by of fundamental, revolutionary article after article after article that states what you own as the future of mankind's interaction with each other. It's taken it to that institutional level of this is real. This isn't buy a bunch of coins and sell them. There's been too many people that have done that in the past. And now we have nearly a decade of people doing that and learning the error of that investment strategy. It's no longer a get rich quick. It's now a get rich. Which leads me to why I started this entire channel was people told me a long time ago that I would actually help them if I could just explain crypto to them, or investing, or stocks, or mutual funds, all the things and the REITs and the things that I studied for so many years of my life. And what I learned was Nobody listens. You have to live it. You have to become it. And you all have become your investments. You know them. You know them magically. It's become you. You know everything there is to know about that coin. You could write books about what you know about it. This, in my opinion, has never happened before. There's never been an individual who took the level of knowledge in which you all have about, I don't know, Verizon phone network. No, nobody ever studied Verizon phone network the way you all do and all have. You're at a level of knowledge and a creation of wealth that has never been seen on this planet. Oh, sure, I know the Rockefellers and the Ford families and all those people did it way back when, and they created generational wealth in many ways. And I know Bezos has done all that. No. This is a 4 multi-level generations of people who have studied and became investors. You're no longer buy the Lambo people. You're an investor. You're an owner. I know I'm repeating myself. I say that a lot on my show, but it's the damn truth. That's who you are. This show is not going to be like the last, 12 minutes of this opening monologue. This show is going to be about you learning to be wealthy. It's time you learn that. See, you've been calling yourself everything except for that, when in reality, for quite some time now, you've actually been wealthy. Think about this one fact. Look at your bag. Look at your portfolio. And some of you have pretty small bags, and I get that. But look at your bag and then ask yourself, can your neighbor afford to buy the bag that you have? No, they can't. They can't. You've accumulated, you've DCA'd over the last 3-4 years, and you've put yourself in a position of great wealth. It's coming to you. It's coming to all of you if you can simply do a few magical things with the rest of your knowledge that you need to study about how to be an investor, how to be an owner, how to be responsible, and how to be generationally wise. This is what the families that I work for preach to their children, if you will use the term, since they're children. Many of those children do not heed the advice of the elders, and they, let's call it what it is, piss the money away from the tens of millions of dollars in which their parents gave them on such frivolous and ridiculous things that it's just they feel like money would never end. And when it does, they're the last to know that it did. Reminds me of lottery winners. Unfortunately, many performers and sports athletes end up in the same position. And all of us say to ourselves, oh man, if I ever had $10 million, I would never do that with it. And I'm here to tell you that you have no idea whether or not that statement is true until you've been in the boat. You don't know. All of us handle wealth in much different ways. So that's why I'm here every Thursday night, to help you have a place to bounce that decision that you might be making about this purchase or another purchase. And you can put it in the chat and you can say, Well, I don't know, guys. As a group, what do we think? Do we think this is a brilliant idea? Should I buy this company? Should I open a car wash in my hometown? And we, as a group, can pencil it out and say, okay, what's your upside? What's your downside? What's your expenses? What's the ratio? What is your profit margin? What's the future of your market? What are the analytics going to be? All of that is something we can all do together. That, with many of the brilliant guests that I have lined up for you all. Weekly, there will probably be a guest. It probably won't be Allan here just by himself. However, I'm kind of enjoying hogging the microphone here. It's kind of fun. So I'm going to get on with it, and I'm going to go ahead and go over a few of the questions that I had that many of our guests will be. By the way, I have a brilliant lady, and her name is April. And April is going to be on my show at least twice a month. Right, April? We're all going to get April to make sure she comes on here twice a month. She's taught me the trust in which I have focused upon. And I found one. And I know many of you know this in the group here, but there's probably, I don't know, 100 of you that do not know what I'm about to say. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the story. See, some 25 years ago, I was told by a very brilliant banking man, Allan, you need a trust. You need to start a corporation. You need to start this. You need an LLC. You need an S Corp. That was 25 years ago. So I did a few of those things. And well, let's just say that some of the tax situations for my life have been revolutionary. I don't want to get too deep into what I do because that's kind of personal. That's for me. But I will tell you that I have not been able to find a company to replace the people and the knowledge of those trusts until recently. And I found a company that all of us can share together. Are they the only company? No. Are they the best company? The best one I've been able to find in about 10 years of research? Yes, they are. They tick all of my boxes for what I require for a trust. Does that mean that somebody else's trust isn't better? No, it does not mean that. It just means that if you want to be a free, sovereign citizen and you would like to have virtually no taxation and be virtually risk-free of lawsuit, this is the best one I could find to meet, in particular, those two categories were really important to me. And there's a brilliant book written, and it's called Scott on Trust. It's a man who lived in the 1800s, and he was John D. Rockefeller's idol, if you will. But the Rockefeller Foundation created all of their business models on his teachings. He was a brilliant lawyer back when lawyers were really brilliant people when it came to tax law and code. Not a big fan of the Rockefeller family or what they do. However, I'm here to tell you that they do know how to work their way around a trust or two. Now, let's get into who needs a trust. And I'm just going to generalize here tonight because I'm just winging all of this. We're going to get into, and I'm going to have guests tell you what exactly you need to know about what I'm answering here tonight. Who needs a trust? I'm going to put it in my category of if you're paying over $50,000 a year in taxation, you need a trust. Because you're giving $50,000 to those people who are running our country, and God only knows what they're doing with it. And I know they're not very efficient with it. Let's just call that what it is. If you think that you're going to sell a piece of property anytime soon, you need a trust. You need a trust if you're going to have some inheritance. If you're going to cash an investment, oh, I don't know, stocks, Nvidia, whatever, or strategically pull some money out of the crypto in which you own after it goes up. Trust me, it's going up. You're going to need a trust. Capital gains tax are going to crush you. I don't care which president it is, they're coming after you. Your capital gains tax is the first item that they can say to all the poor people that voted for them, hey, look, I'm going to go after these guys because they're the rich guys. You're going to be the new rich people. I hope you know that. You're going to cash out $500,000, $1 million, right? I mean, you're not going to sell your XRP for less than that, I hope, right? Who's going to do that? I mean, unless you're 80 and that's all you could need the rest of your life, well, that's a different category, clearly. But let's call it what it is. If you're going to sell $1 million worth of your coins, mind you, we're going to go over strategies on how you would not sell $1 million worth of coins. But if you had $4 million worth of coins, you might want to exit 25% of that so that the other 3/4 of it could work for you and annually, quarterly bring you in money. We all got that. What I'm saying is you're selling $1 million of something and you're going to pay what? $350,000 in tax? You've got to get a trust. Anybody that owns over 5,000 coins of almost any coins in the top 10, you're going to cash out for a lot of money. How do I know that? Just trust me, I know that. That's like towards the end of the show. I'm going to tell you how I know that, right? So if you're going to sell a piece of property at a massive, even $100,000 profit, it's $35,000 to, I don't know, Sleepy Joe. I'm not a big fan. I'm just not going to, I mean, you can buy a trust for less than that, and then you can never pay capital gains tax. You can defer capital gains tax the rest of your life to some degree. I will say this because I just happened to read it with my buddy Northern. We're not done with you people in Canada. We have options for you, and it's coming. My favorite thing about trusts in particular is it allows you to be an American citizen again, or citizen, a free citizen of the world. In other words, our forefathers were smart enough to write laws that enabled you to invest your money. This is pre-banking system. Invest money in life insurance policies and borrow and lend and save within them and still compound interest. That's before the banking system came along and corrupted the whole thing. And now they give you no interest at all, let alone compounding. Understand that. They pulled that off through lawyers, law judges, and the rest of the people that move things. Let's remember our country was first founded, this country in particular was first founded and put into law that lawyers were not allowed to be politicians because they thought they would corrupt the system and they would corrupt banking and they would corrupt the knowledge and they would make it too sophisticated for the average voter or farmer to vote actually for what they wanted from life. They would complicate things. And by golly, were they right. I would say that was probably the right, most correct thing that was ever discussed in that Constitution. So, not to get all constitutional here, but I will tell you, we will be having experts on that as well on this show because I know one who's really good, taught me a lot. So when you talk about the benefits, let's say you're a truck driver, right? You're a truck driver and you got a bunch of crypto. JV, I'm thinking of you, brother. And you drive every day. And an accident, tragedy comes to, I don't know, an ice cream truck. The legal system will come after you. I know you're insured and I got this umbrella insurance and I got all that. And no, you don't. No, you don't. You have to cover yourself. You're going to be the target. Trust me. Remember, I work for billionaires. They're the target. People come on their boats and their houses and everything else, and they start slipping and falling. I know, it's human nature. And it's so funny to me how the rich guy is always the target. He's always deemed in society as the bad guy, right? A lot of them are. Trust me, a lot of them are. A lot of them are incredible human beings. So what are the many benefits? There's too many to count about trust. That's why I love IBC. Infinite banking concept is the same thing. It's a trust. It's a poor man's trust. If you haven't looked into the IBC, you need to check out our Tuesday night show because I'm telling you, we're going all over that. Anyway, that's a different show. This is about how do I get out of my crypto? Let's backtrack. How do I get out of any investment? You back out slowly. You don't push sell on your entire bag. In particular with crypto. Let's just get that right out front right now. You have to know what you own. You don't own crypto from 2017. It's a totally different game. That was a very risk. You were betting on a horse race in 2017. You now own if you own a coin in the top 10, I'm just going to, the XRP, XLM, okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I don't care. Whatever one you own, or the 5 you own, okay? Hashbar, I got it. All of them, Quant. If you own those coins, you own a corporation and you're the owner. You're not an employee. You're not a shareholder. You own it. You're going to be able to use that technology and that software the rest of your life. Now, I was going to save this for later in the show, but I'm going to go over it right now because it's on the tip of my pea-sized brain here. How do I know crypto is going to go through the roof? How do I know that? How do you know that, Allan? How do you know that as well as you know that anything in life right now? Well, here's how I know. In particular with XRP, let me just paint a little picture for everybody here. I know many of us know a lot about XRP, but almost all of us know this fact. XRP is used interbank, bank to bank mostly, or citizen to bank, or overseas transactions. Perfect for XRP and its network. So when AI comes to transactions, AI is going to be transacting with AI, with people, with other AI, with other technology. What is it going to use? Is it going to open up its own wallet? No. See, the influx of the transactional speed of all these AI and bots connecting to each other and trading with each other are all transactional fees. And all those transactional fees, and the more XRP in particular is used, the more value it has. More trades, more value. Do you think there's going to be less or more trades going forward when all AI is going to be trading and all human beings are going to be trading? I'm going to guess more than current today. In particular, the ISO isn't even online yet. It's not even up in, well, it is to some degree. When that thing ramps up and starts, the legacy banking system has known this. Why do we think the central bankers have been fighting this? Nobody's been fighting this like the central banking system. They want their CBDC, and I get it, and I understand it, and they're going to have it in a lot of places. But where are they not going to have it? Where freedom reigns. That's why I'm doing this show. I'm going to teach you, help you learn. We're going to learn together. I don't have all the answers. That's why I'm going to have a lot of guests, because they have pieces to the puzzle in which you and I are going to put together. We're going to make it for each other. This is not a mastermind group. I mentioned this to some people. This is not a mastermind group. It's bigger than that. This is a master, heart, and soul group. That's what we have here. There's no fees. There's no any of that. This is a coming together of like-minded people and souls that want to create knowledge for each other, and we're stronger as a group. As a group, we have more influence. As a group, we have more power. I can go to somebody in which, let's say you were to buy trust, okay? And we have, I don't know, there's 170 people in the chat right now watching this live. 170 of us, let's say there's 75 of us, right, that have gotten the trust. Do you think we're going to let the 76th person get messed over by the company that sold us the trust? No. See, that's my lifelong goal, is to make sure that everybody that onboards with us is a crew member. You're part of a new team. Now, I know there's many other teams out there, and there's many, and we're going to all probably link together to some degree. We're all going to be on the same cruise ships, for God's sakes, or vacation spots, or all the rest of it, or enjoying each other's farms. When you get that power, that energy, that blessing that all of us have together, it's a force to be reckoned with. That's why social media is so important for everybody to get, because it's the power of all, the power of us, the power of the army. And there's 10 times larger shows than mine, but we're probably going to hook up with those people too, right? That's what we're going to do here. All right. Doggone, it's already been 30 minutes and I'm babbling on here. I'm not even into the things here. I just want to say hello and thanks to everybody that's in the chat. I love you guys, and I see Becky in the house. And Becky gave me that painting right there, and it's probably one of the most favorite things I've ever been given, actually. And I'm going to hang it right there until I get a different studio, and I will have a different lighting and setup and microphone. I'm sorry, my mic's probably not great right now. I'm going to fix all that. We have the opportunity to save yourself like our forefathers did. That's what you have. You have that opportunity. We still have the legal right to become our own nation state, if you will, your own sovereign human being, your own sovereign family. Stop and think about this now. Let's say you get this trust, right? And it's you and your husband. And yes, by the way, you and your husband, you and your spouse, I guess I should say, can have equal rights and equal share of this trust. It's one of the few, frankly, that you can do that, or a couple can do it together. And that was one of the key requirements that, I was like, wow, that's a bonus. And your children will be the beneficiary. So this will be generational. And you can set up the terms and all of that so that your kids don't end up being a lottery winner because they didn't go through what you and I went through when it came to waiting on all these lulls and all these periods of, I bought XRP in 2017 and I'm still not rich yet. And when Lambo? They didn't have to go through the patience and the aggravation and all of it, and all of our friends and neighbors telling us that we're wrong about crypto. They didn't have to do all that. So they're not going to see the value of the money the way you and I do. But they're going to be part of your generational wealth strategy. And that's where we're going. It's what we're going to do here. You've never seen profits like the profits you're about to witness. You've never seen this. Not in, you don't understand what's coming your way. And I'm not just talking about people with Bitcoin, and I'm not talking about Ethereum or XRP. I'm talking about 50 coins down. It's coming. I don't know if anyone saw what China did the other day, but what China did was bigger than anybody understands. What China basically said was, hey, you know all that real estate debt that you guys got? We're not going to worry about that. We're going to print a bunch of yuan, hundreds of billions of dollars. And what we want you guys to do with that is buy stock. See, that's what they told everybody. It's basically a liquidity window that they told all of their citizens to buy Chinese stock on stock exchange. Okay? But what do we know? My show did a little show about this, I don't know, 2 years ago. HSBC, Hong Kong. Does any of that ring a bell with anybody? Oh, that's right. They sell crypto. So here is China, anti-crypto forever, is handing their citizens funds to go buy stock when crypto is legal. Do you see where this is going? Now, are you going to buy, I don't know, I don't even know a Chinese product off the top of my head. Okay, company. What is it? BYD's, the electric cars. Wait, are you going to buy stock in that company? Or are you going to buy XRP? They've been waiting for, what is this, 15 years to be able to buy Bitcoin over there? You think they're just going to buy Shanghai stock at some tire company? Did you see the way they invested in real estate? They built condos that they'll never fill, ever. Their population's in decline, and they were still building condos, and people were still buying the condos. What do you think they're going to do when they start to see crypto go up? The liquidity is coming from the Chinese government. The liquidity is coming from the central banking system. I'm talking the West and the East. I'm talking BRICS and the West. I would have never said this on my show 3 years ago when I first started this show. In fact, I used to tell you that the two families at the top, and by the way, there are two basic central families at the top, and they're not the names that you think, but those two families at the top always fight about everything. They're not fighting now. Because see, that real estate bubble, you can't change, you cannot place trillions of dollars to make a difference in that real estate bubble. You just can't. You can't sell somebody, they have too many condos. And already in North America, we're seeing a lot of product come on the market, on the real estate market. You look how many buildings are empty when it comes to commercial real estate. The money isn't going to go. Speculative money is not going to real estate. I'm sorry, it's just not. In particular, commercial real estate. Sure, there are some home runs out there, and there's some great deals. And I know a couple of people that have really got some wonderful things coming ahead of them. And I'm not saying a blanket over that whole statement, but what I am saying is, no, They're going to crypto, my friend. And they're going to go in and out of their dollars with stable coins. They're going to get directly out of their cash, and they're going to go into a stable coin, which is a US dollar. Not all nations, but a lot of nations, in particular the ones that are going to experience more inflation because of all this printing that is coming up. And yes, there's a ton of money coming. I just told you what China's doing, and it's an endless open window. They didn't say, oh, we're only going to do it for 6 months. They didn't even give us a date. I'm saying all that because I'm just trying to reaffirm to everybody what you have is a massive asset. And all your friends who didn't buy assets are not going to be able to keep up with the inflation in which these nations and central banks are putting into the system yet again. I know I'm a bit of a lone ranger on this statement, and I know a lot of people are probably going to click off the channel as soon as I say this. There will never be another recession. There, I said it. There will never be 1929 again. And there's a lot of factors that are why I say that. I've been saying it for 2 and 3 years now, and everybody tells me, oh, now, Allan, I have the calculations and I have the math that says exactly that you're wrong, and all the math tells me all of it, and the crash is coming, the crash is coming. I can name 10 channels that have been telling me a crash is going to come this fall for 10 years. They've told me 10 years there's a crash coming in the fall for 10 straight years. But remember, what are they selling? That's right, they're selling precious metals. That's great. I love precious metals, and don't get me wrong. If we have a doomsday crash like they're talking about, you're going to want some of that. I get it. Do not get me wrong on this. What I'm trying to tell you is, because of technology, because of the fat that you and I are going to cut out of the system by eliminating the middleman, there's going to be prosperity that trickles down in a manner that has never been seen before. You personally, everybody in this chat, are going to be multimillionaires. You own assets. All of the assets on the face of this planet are in the process currently today of going up in value because of the printing of the central banks and now even the Chinese. Everybody is going to print more cash. The poor are going to get poorer. This is correct. You are absolutely correct. But what the difference of this time around is, a lot like 21, the middle class, the people who are smart enough in the middle class to own assets like you do and like I do, particularly crypto, even your gold and your silver, and your choice for pieces of real estate, those assets are going to go up. And what does the middle class do when their assets go up? They spend it. They make the market flush again. I'm sure remember in 21, we had everybody was, you could sell your 3-year-old car for more than what you paid for it. They can turn that on anytime they want. Is it good for the bottom? No, it's not. But the beauty of it is that you and I are going to be the new middle class, and you and I are going to spend, because you're going to upgrade your house, your cars, your everything else, and you're going to be the greatest wealth transformation ever created. I'm talking 50 to 500 million people strong are going to get rich from crypto. Do you have any idea? They're all middle class. Do you know what that does to the lower class? You think you're going to just hand money to the lower class and it's going to solve the lower class problem? Absolutely not. That's never worked. But what does work is when you're smart enough, like China just figured out, I'm just going to go ahead and get them to buy stocks. Because when they get rich with stocks, they're going to spend it. Unlike housing, when they blew the housing bubble, everybody wanted to keep houses and buy more houses and buy more houses. Buying more houses did not stimulate their economy the way the spending of excess spendable cash is going to. This is my whole premise that I'm talking about here. I know I'm not the Lone Ranger. There's some really good economists out there. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Allan, there's no way they can keep up with the debt. They can't even pay the interest. I get it. I get it. Do they look like they're struggling with paying more than they should pay for anything? No. They're just going to keep printing and printing. Which tells me, how are you going to have a recession when everybody's assets go up? When the value of all the assets on the planet go up, how are you going to have a recession? Explain that to me. Because I hear people tell me we're going to have a crash and a recession right around the corner. I didn't want to make the show about that, but I'm just trying to tell everybody that maybe not. Maybe not. You know, I had some really, really good people in my chat here. Becky remembers, and we were talking about this in April. People were telling me in May there was going to be a crash because the window was closing. When the window closes, they just open another one. You guys realize that, right? The only way that what I'm talking about won't work is if Joe Sixpack, my favorite people on the planet, by the way, when they decide a dollar or a yuan or a peso isn't worth the work they're doing. Until then, no crash, baby. And do you think those people are going to get smart enough? We can't even get them to buy XRP, let alone educate them on what a dollar really is. The whole thing is a Ponzi scheme. We all know that. But a Ponzi only fails when the people quit playing the game of Ponzi. That's when they all fail. Little man doesn't understand that he's in a Ponzi. You do. I do. We got to figure it out. All the economists got figured. This math doesn't work. It's got to crash any day now. It can't. I just explained why it can't. Yeah. Anyway, that's why I'm telling you, you're going to need a strategy. And the strategies are what we're going to go over on this show going forward. And we're going to help you understand why you need an IBC and why you need a trust and why you need to know what they do and what the value in which they bring to you. Because you're going to hide your wealth in there, and you're going to tell all your friends who are going to say, hey, wait a minute, Bob, didn't you end up, wait a minute, you're a multimillionaire now. Hey, gosh, I'm really on some hard luck here, Al. Could you loan me a couple $100,000? I've got this great business idea and this whole cool thing, man. I'm going to build it in my town. It's been my lifelong dream, and I'm going to make that happen, Al. So I just need a couple $100,000 from you. You got so rich on that crypto thing. They're talking to all of you. What do you think? Come on, you're my brother-in-law. The guy that didn't listen to you at the barbecue for the last, 8 years. That's right. That person is going to ask you for money. And he's going to be your brother-in-law, and your sister's married to him, and you're going to be sitting there going, I'm sorry, sis. I'll go broke giving everybody money. How are you going to feel about that? It's not easy. I see my bosses go through it every single party. Every party. Somebody comes up to him and asks him for money. You know what that's going to be like? Well, here, I got an out for you. This is their out. Say, look, that's not my money. That's in the company trust. That's the company's money. That's not my money. Yeah, that $5 million I made off XRP, that's in the company trust. And I'll tell you what, here's what you do is you just go ahead and you write down your business idea and put it all together nice and nice packaged where I can go to the trust with it. And if the people of the trust like it, which by the way is you essentially, or all of us in this group, because we're going to share all these great ideas that people are going to bring to us, right? Possible investment opportunities going forward. You're going to be able to tell your brother-in-law, look, it's not up to me. It's not, look, don't blame me, sis. It's the trust. It's just another advantage of why you need these and what they mean to you. And ask yourself, why is it every single wealthy person on the face of the planet has one and you don't? That gets me to one of my final questions. Who doesn't need a trust? Probably 99% of the people watching this show right now. I do not advise you to buy a trust if you're in this category. If you do not pay over $50,000 in taxes annually, you probably don't need a trust. You can wait. And I'm advising, not advice, because I don't give financial advice. I'm asking you to wait until you have made enough money with your crypto, or you're about to sell some real estate. Then you need to get a hold of me. You need to get a hold of me then and long before you sell either one of those. And I can be on a call with you. I'll be on the call with you and the company, and they will do everything that you and I want them to do, or we will no longer use their services. Because I'm in this with you and me. Because we're a crew. Because that's what we do. I'll be on the call with you. And I'll hear everything that was said. And if they don't come up to their end of the bargain, or you're not happy with the way the bargain's going, we'll get back on a three-way call and we'll figure out a way for them to fix it to make all three of us happy. That's what I'm offering everybody. That's where I'm headed. Because I'm just kind of old school, and I've been taken by too many people who simply just say, oh, just click the link down below and, tell them I sent you. No, not tell them I sent you on this channel. I'll be on the phone when you were sent there. That's how I roll. Call me old school. Call me whatever. But I'm not playing. I'm not playing the, I need 200,000 subscribers so that I can, offload 20,000 people into some company and I make money. No, we're not doing that here. Because see, just you getting wealthy with crypto is the first step. Second step is, before you sell the crypto, is getting yourself covered for insurance, for your own sleeping well at night, for you to lock away and not pay, Sleepy Joe all the money, and getting your foundation set. When we have you in a solid foundation place, then guess where we're going? You got it. Then we're going to go and we're going to seek out the absolute best way for you and I to secure the wealth we generated, because you've already one time, you took the risk already. You took a big risk by believing in crypto. I don't want to ever see you take that risk again. No, we're not doing that. You got lucky. Not lucky because you did a lot of homework. You got it right. And what I'm trying to tell you is, you're going to want to get conservative after you put away a bunch of money. And those conservative investments have to be researched and looked at, and the companies, because these rug pulls are everywhere in crypto. Oh yeah, I got this AMM, and the next thing I know, all my coins are gone. Or this DEX, everything was going great. I was making 20% a year, and then my coins are gone. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing it like that. You put maybe 2% or something, because you've already taken all the risks. You took all the risk, more of the risk than you needed to take already. When that day comes and it pays off, we're going to look for the AAA primo investment opportunities. And trust me, they're out there, especially right now. Money is really tight right now. So if crypto could do well in the next, say, 6 months to a year, you guys are going to clean house on your investments. After you have your foundation set. This is about building a foundation and an exit strategy when this bull gets cranking up. And by the way, I don't know if anyone noticed this. I'm a chart guy. I know many of you know I've traded Forex for many years. Not all of them, not XRP yet, but almost all the other coins, especially the altcoins, have made a new high over the previous high. And they made a higher low. Almost all of them. And the last time they did that was 2020. I'm just saying, liquidity is coming. Interest rates are dropping. After an election, it's always a really solid 3-4 months before anything really gets stupid. I think we're looking at another bull market. And I think it's pretty close. And I think it's going to last probably into late 25 at least. So you've got time to worry about getting a trust. You don't need to run out tomorrow, okay? And I want to talk about this because this is on my list as well. And I've talked to many of you about this already. If your trust costs you 20 grand, some of you it's going to cost more than that. Some will cost less than that. Depends on what your business is, you know. But if you're saving $30,000 or $40,000 a year, like what's the expense of it? It's priceless. You better have a good one. Okay, so let's say you say to yourself, well, Allan, that 20 grand, are you kidding me or you're out of your mind? That's 40,000 XRP. I'm not spending that. I'm not doing that. That's expensive. Perfect. I agree. Because what did I tell you? I don't want you buying one. You're not prepared. You're not ready. You can't use it. It's not efficient for you to use yet. You're not in that tax bracket yet. But you're going to be. I just spent an hour telling you why you're going to be in that tax bracket. This crypto isn't going to zero, guys. What you own is going to be the future wealth, and you are those people. So now you got to start acting like it and thinking like it. So we have, I don't know, 6 months to a year to get this right. So this show is being started at the perfect time. Go figure. Who knew? Sometimes you get it right. Seldom in my lifetime, but sometimes I get, blind squirrel and all. We are at the precipice of the perfect time for you to start learning about this. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have experts on here to teach us exactly what we need to know. So now you know what you're going to be doing on Thursday nights, or listen to it during the week. So when you have your first ladder of exit strategy, in other words, okay, XRP went, whatever your number is, everybody has a different number. My XRP went to, I'm going to call it $10 just for an easy number. And you're thinking, I can get out of 25% of my XRP or 20%, right? Maybe that's your play. And maybe that's 100 grand because you want to pay off your house or do whatever it might be. And that's just your first exit out. The very first 20 you sell before the other 80, you sell it to buy the trust. So that every dollar you sell from crypto after the 20 is tax deferred. And I'm talking about deferring it to your grandchildren. I'm not talking about I have to pay tax in 10 years or when I retire when I'm 59 or whatever. I'm talking about deferred, generationally deferred. So in other words, you're not paying tax on your capital gains. That's the strategy. Your first exit out is your policy. I've got it. I've got the foundation. I've got it set up. Now I understand what Allan's telling me. I understand what he's talking about because I look at the faces of the people that have trust and they don't have a care in the world financially because it's all dialed in. They're like, no, sorry, I can't loan you all that money. And I wish I could, but I can't. You got to submit to the trust. And what else? Oh, your kids are set. And you don't have to worry about that either. And we're going to get into the differences between what a will is and what a trust does and what all of that. In fact, I'm really trying to get her on the show, and I believe April's going to be on this time, 5:30 Western Pacific time. I think we're going to have her on the show next week. And wait till you meet her. She's absolutely a dream, and she's a wealth of knowledge, and she's fire energy. I love it. When I get near her, my son and I spent the weekend day with her Monday shooting some video that you guys are going to see. She's the real deal. I'm so excited. She's the real deal, working with the real company. And again, you might find a better company. You might already have a trust. We can work on that too. We can talk about what that means to all of you. I see that my time is up here because it's already an hour that I've been babbling along. Tonight was just an introduction of what you should expect to see going forward. And this show is going to help you understand what you own, how to slowly get out of it, how to secure your situation before you get out of it so that you're not paying through the nose in taxation and so that you're not legally in hot water when people come after you. You all of a sudden are your own island. You get to live your life in freedom again, like our forefathers had hoped. You need this for peace. I know there's all kinds of people telling you, oh, you got to move to Costa Rica, or you got to move to, St. Kitts or Cayman Islands. If you want to live there, live there. What I'm saying is, when I'm done with you, when you've done this foundation that we're going to work on for the next year, because this next bull run is going to be this next year, when I'm done with you and you've set up this foundation the way I'm talking about it, you're going to be a free citizen in any country that you live in. And that's the beauty of what we're doing here. It's going to be fun. You're going to learn a lot. I promise you. I promise you, you're going to learn a lot. I've already learned so much. It's incredible. And the guests that I have are just going to knock it out of the park. They're going to come with some great questions, but I need all of you to bring your questions because I will answer chat questions going forward. I didn't tonight because I really wanted to get a lot out, and I wanted to make this video just an hour long, and I'm just gone over that now. I want you all to know that you have somewhere you can go and you can figure this out. It's not the only place. There's many channels, and thank God a lot of us are out there teaching people exit strategies now, and it's time. I can feel it in my bones that this is coming, and I just told you all the reasons for an hour long of why I know you're going to be wealthy going forward. I think it's within 2 years, could be less, could be more, but either way, you're going to be in a position to where you're going to want to know how money works, and you're going to want to be in a position to understand what it can do for you. It's so empowering to use money. You used money in a simple way. You're about to use money in a complex manner that is going to make you money whether you get out of bed or not. Big difference. Big difference, guys. All right, guys. I want you guys all to know that I love you very much. And thanks. Wow, I had 200 people in the chat here tonight a couple times. So I really appreciate you all. And thanks for stopping by. And with that, I'm going to bid you all a good night. And to all of you in Florida, please be well. My thoughts and prayers are with you tonight. And anybody else who's, well, in a shaky spot in their own place, be well tonight. And try and get out there and do something nice for somebody. That'd be fun. It's so rewarding. I love doing it. All right, guys. With that, I am out. I thought it was out. Now we're out. Sorry about that, guys. Everybody have a great night. I love you all.